There are moments in life when time itself seems ordinary. Yet in the mystery of the divine, there are appointed times set apart not by human calendars, but by the eternal design. Tonight is one of those moments. It may look like just another night in the flow of days, but in the realm beyond time, something has been marked. Something has been decreed. When the Creator sets a moment, it becomes holy, sacred, and full of potential. Throughout history, these moments have come without warning, unexpected by men but ordained by heaven. They are known in ancient language as appointed times, windows where the natural touches the supernatural. Just as Passover and the Day of Atonement were appointed by God and filled with His presence, so too are personal appointments written for individuals. Appointments of reward, breakthrough, and visitation. Tonight is one such time. You didn't earn it in the way the world defines merit. You didn't manufacture it. You may not even feel ready for it, but heaven has spoken a word, reward. That word is not vague, not accidental. It is targeted and intentional. It is a word that reaches into your past, your secret acts of obedience, your sacrifices, the prayers spoken in the dark, and even the tears that no one else saw. God has not forgotten. Not a single act of kindness, not a single decision made in righteousness, not a single moment when you could have chosen wrong, but chose right instead, has been missed by the eyes that see all. In the scriptures, there is a theme repeated over and over again. What is sown in one season is reaped in another. Often the distance between seed and harvest causes doubt, causes the heart to grow weary, causes the hands to weaken. But the principle remains. The reward never leaves the hands of God. It is stored until its appointed hour. And sometimes that hour comes suddenly. The harvest is not always warned before it arrives. Sometimes it appears overnight, like a thief in the night, like manna from heaven, from heaven. What is happening tonight is not random. You have walked through seasons of drought, wondering if your labor was in vain, wondering if your voice reached the heavens, wondering if God had passed you by. But it was in those very seasons that your reward was being formed, not as a reaction, but as a purpose. God does not react. He prepares. And in His preparation, He shapes the reward to match not only your desire, but your destiny. That's why it couldn't come early. That's why the delay was necessary, not to punish, but to perfect. What He gives tonight is more than a gift. It is a fulfillment, a divine response to your journey. The reward is not always what the world expects. It may not always be wealth or status, but it will be far more valuable. It will be peace in the storm, clarity where there was confusion, strength where there was weakness, and divine opening where doors were sealed shut. You will recognize it not just by its arrival, but by the change it brings. It will align things. It will restore what was lost. It will lift you where you were bowed down. For many, this moment will mark the end of a trial and the beginning of new purpose. It is a transition point. The old battles will lose their grip and new assignments will be given. Heaven never rewards without promoting. And in promotion, there is also responsibility. This reward is also a signal. It says that you are being trusted with more, being lifted to a new level, not just of blessing, but of calling. Even now, something stirs in the spirit. The wind of change is blowing. What once was closed is being opened. What was hidden is being revealed. And what seemed impossible is being made possible, not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit of the living God. You are not forgotten. Tonight is the proof. This is the night where the unseen becomes seen, where the silence becomes song, where the waiting becomes reward. The heavens have declared it, and nothing can stop what has been ordained. You don't need to strive. You don't need to prove yourself again. You just need to receive. The hour has come. The time is now. Let your heart be open. Let your spirit be ready. The reward is being released tonight. There are certain moments in the flow of time that stand apart from the rest, not because the clock says so, but because eternity has touched them. Tonight is one of those moments, not by coincidence, but by divine design. Though it may appear to be just another evening on the calendar, it is anything but ordinary. In the unseen realm, this time has been marked long before you were even aware of it. It is not a response to something you did today. It is the manifestation of something that has been in motion for a long time. Every act of obedience you carried out in silence, every step of faith you took when it felt like no one noticed, every prayer whispered in the quiet hours of the night, all of it has been heard. All of it has been seen. The reward that comes tonight is not arbitrary. It has been crafted in the unseen, prepared with detail, weighed with care, and now released with power. What you are stepping into is not a sudden shift, but a revealed outcome of a divine process. There were times you may have thought you were forgotten, times when the silence around you seemed like absence, but it was in those very times that the preparation was the deepest. The delay you experienced was never denial, it was development. What felt like waiting was actually shaping. You were being made ready for what you were about to receive, and the reward that comes now is perfectly timed because it arrives not a moment too early or too late, but exactly in the appointed hour. The significance of this moment lies not just in the reward itself, but in what it means for your future. This is not simply an answer to a need. It is a shift in your position, a movement from one season to another. The reward is not only a gift, but a signpost. It says you are crossing over. Where there was once resistance, there will now be flow. Where there was once confusion, there will be clarity. And where you once felt held back, you will now feel lifted. But more than that, this moment carries spiritual weight. It is a commissioning. The reward comes with authority, with favor, and with a new mantle. You have been tested and tried, and tonight you are being entrusted. Entrusted with new vision, new responsibility, and new influence. The trials of the past were not wasted. They have built within you the strength to carry what is now being given. The reward may manifest in peace that surpasses understanding, in provision that meets your every need, or in opportunities that unlock your destiny. It may arrive in the form of reconciliation, healing, or even unexpected restoration. Whatever shape it takes, its presence will be unmistakable. You will know it is from above because it will bring alignment to areas that felt scattered. It will carry the fragrance of purpose. You will feel the weight of it, not as a burden, but as confirmation that your journey has not been in vain. Tonight is not just about receiving, it is about stepping forward into a new level of trust, a new realm of calling, and a deeper experience of grace. What is released tonight is not just for your benefit, it is for your impact. You have been positioned for this moment, and everything in your past has led you here. Receive it with open hands and a prepared heart, for this is the moment when the heavens release what they have long held in store for you. Time, in its ordinary rhythm, often disguises the extraordinary workings of the unseen. There are moments that appear like any other, yet they carry with them the weight of eternity's intention. Tonight is such a moment, not defined by what the eye can see, but by what has been decreed beyond the veil of time. You may have walked through many nights filled with questions, delays, and silence, wondering when the breakthrough would come, when the promise would be fulfilled, and when your faith would be answered. What you did not realize is that while you waited, something was being written in the heavenly realms. Every quiet act of faithfulness, every time you chose righteousness over compromise, every time you turned to hope rather than despair, these moments were not forgotten. They became part of a divine equation, unseen yet counted. In those moments when it felt like nothing was changing, the roots were growing deeper. The reward that is released now has been long in the making, shaped not by man, but by the hand of the one who sees all. It is not simply the result of action. It is the result of obedience and surrender. And because it was birthed in the sacred, it will be delivered with purpose. The arrival of this reward does not signal the end of your journey, but the beginning of a new chapter. This transition has been ordained to bring you into alignment with a greater assignment. You are not being rewarded just to rest. You are being rewarded to rise. What comes tonight is not merely about relief from what has been, but about empowerment for what is to come. You may feel the lifting of burdens, the quieting of storms, or the sudden clarity that washes away confusion. But there will also be an inner call, a sense that you are being summoned to a new level of living. The peace you receive will become strength. The provision you receive will become fuel. And the doors that open will not just be for your comfort, but for your calling. In ancient times, when a promise was fulfilled, it was often accompanied by a calling to stewardship. What you are given now carries responsibility. It asks for wisdom, humility, and boldness. This is why the wait had to be long enough to shape you, so that what comes into your hands will not overwhelm you, but equip you. You are not stepping into a moment. You are stepping into a mantle. Tonight's reward will resonate in multiple layers of your life. For some, it will restore relationships that seemed permanently broken. For others, it will bring a sudden financial shift, not born of striving, but of divine intervention. Some will encounter healing not just of the body, but of the soul, wounds that have been hidden, even from yourself, being gently closed by a greater hand. And for many, this reward will not come in ways they expected, but in ways they needed most. It will bring light into the corners of your life that have lived in quiet shadow. It will settle questions that have lingered for years. It will confirm that your path, though difficult, has not been in vain. This is not the kind of reward that fades. It is the kind that redefines. The kind that marks you not only as one who has received, but as one who is now ready to give. What has been released tonight is not just a personal blessing, but a divine endorsement that your season has changed. The heavens have spoken it, and no resistance on earth can stop it. You are no longer waiting. You are walking in it. Receive it not with anxiety, but with assurance, for the time has come, and it has found you ready. There are moments in life when everything feels still, as if nothing is shifting, nothing is breaking through, and all your prayers have been placed on hold. You continue to walk, carry the weight of hope, hold on to faith, and whisper words into the night, hoping they reach beyond the ceiling. It's easy to assume that silence means nothing is happening, that your faithfulness has gone unnoticed, that time is passing without purpose. But what is invisible to the eye is not absent from reality. In the realm beyond sight, there has been movement. There has been arrangement, preparation, and divine orchestration. Every act of surrender, every choice to keep going when you could have stopped, and every moment when you chose truth over convenience, all of it has been gathered. Not one moment has been wasted. Tonight is not a coincidence. It is a culmination. It is a culmination. It is a moment marked before time, crafted to deliver what was promised long ago. The weight of the process has not crushed you. It has forged you, made you ready to carry the reward that is now being released. This moment is not simply about receiving what you have desired. It is about stepping into what has been waiting for you. There are seasons when doors remain closed, not because you are unworthy, but because the time has not yet come. And when that time arrives, there is a divine acceleration. What once took years begins to unfold in days. You are not only stepping into a season of fulfillment, you are stepping into alignment. What once resisted you will now welcome you. What seemed delayed will now move swiftly. But this is not just the release of a blessing, it is the call into a deeper place. With every divine reward comes a shift in responsibility. You are not being given a gift merely to enjoy it, but to steward it. To use it, not only for your benefit, but for others who are still waiting for their appointed time. The peace you receive is meant to be shared. The wisdom you've gained in the waiting is now meant to guide others. This moment has been entrusted to you because you have been proven in private. And now, what has been hidden in the silence will be revealed in the light. There is something sacred about the way this unfolds. You may not hear a trumpet or see a flash of light, but you will sense the shift. It may begin as a deep knowing in your spirit, a gentle awareness that something is no longer the same. The burdens you carried will feel lighter, not because they've disappeared, but because grace has increased. The closed places in your life will begin to open, not through force, but through favor. The people who once misunderstood you will begin to see clearly. The dreams that felt too far to grasp will begin to take form. This is the power of divine timing. It restores, it reveals, and it redeems. And perhaps most powerfully, it realigns you with the identity that trials tried to steal from you. You are not who your past tried to label you as. You are who you were created to be, refined through fire, tested by time, and now ready for reward. The shift tonight is not only external, it is internal. You will feel lighter, clearer, and more connected to your purpose. You will begin to make decisions not out of fear, but from a place of peace. And in this moment, there will also be a sense of clarity about the journey ahead. The reward you receive will not bring confusion. It will bring direction. It may not answer every question you've ever asked, but it will quiet the ones that once kept you awake. You'll begin to see the wisdom in the waiting, the purpose behind the pauses, and the strength that was being built in the silence. The very things that made you weep will become the foundation of your testimony. And what was once delayed will now be delivered, not just as a promise fulfilled, but as a sign that you are stepping into your next chapter fully equipped. The heavens are not silent tonight. They are declaring that your season has shifted, that your reward has been released, and that you are standing in a moment long prepared for you. Not by chance, not by force, but by divine intention. And it has found you ready. There are seasons in life that feel like wandering through a wilderness, when the path ahead seems hidden and every step is marked with uncertainty. You keep moving, not because you always feel strong, but because something inside you refuses to give up. You continue in faith, not because the evidence is always visible, but because the promise is too real to abandon. In those seasons, it's easy to question whether your sacrifices matter, whether your obedience is making a difference, and whether your prayers are being heard. But in the unseen realm, every step, every decision, every whispered prayer has been building something. Tonight is not just another moment in time. It is a divine turning point, a time that has been hidden, waiting to be revealed, when the reward that was stored in heaven is now being released into your reality. This moment carries significance beyond the natural. It is a response from the divine to a life lived with perseverance and trust, even when things didn't make sense. The unfolding of this reward does not come out of chance or accident. It has been divinely appointed, perfectly timed, and precisely measured. The waiting you endured was not a punishment, but a preparation. You were being shaped to carry something greater, something weightier. This reward is not meant to be a temporary relief, but a long-awaited breakthrough that aligns with your identity and purpose. It's just what is being released now is what your soul has cried out for in silence, what your spirit has longed for while others moved ahead, and what your heart never let go of even when logic said it was over. There is a shift happening, and it is deeper than what the natural eye can see. The very atmosphere around you begins to respond, as though heaven itself is leaning in to deliver what was held back for such a time as this. And now that the time has come, nothing can hold it any longer. What was once delayed is now descending. What was once resisted is now released. You may not realize it all at once. It might begin with a small confirmation, a word spoken, an opportunity offered, a piece that wasn't there before. But these are not coincidences. They are signs of alignment, signals that heaven is moving on your behalf. What begins tonight is not just a single moment of blessing, but the beginning of a new rhythm in your life. The doors that once stood shut are beginning to open, not because you forced them, but because the time has come. And when the time comes, resistance has no authority. You'll find that things which once required heavy effort will begin to happen with ease. That is the nature of divine reward. It comes not only as provision, but as alignment. New connections will form, clarity will come, and a deeper sense of direction will take root. This is not just the end of a season of struggle. It is the beginning of a season of flow. Not everything will change at once, but everything is beginning to change. And as this reward settles into your life, you'll notice that it doesn't just satisfy the desires you once prayed for. It begins to reveal new ones. This is what reward does when it comes from above. It awakens purpose. It reminds you that you were not just surviving for survival's sake, but because you were being preserved for a mission. The blessing you receive is not meant to end with you. It is meant to overflow. There will be others whose answers are tied to your reward. Your peace will become their encouragement. Your breakthrough will become their roadmap. You are not only being lifted, you are being positioned. Positioned to build, to speak, to serve, and to lead. This reward is both an end and a beginning. The end of delay, the beginning of destiny in motion. It may come with joy, it may come with holy silence, it may come with tears, but it will come with power. And in the quiet of this night, as you begin to sense the shift, let your heart rest in the knowledge that this was never about being perfect. It was about being faithful. It was about trusting even when you couldn't trace the path. The reward now released is not a trophy for performance. It is a testament to persistence, a declaration from the divine that you are seen, known, and chosen. Let tonight mark the moment when the unseen becomes seen, when the waiting becomes fulfillment, and when the promise becomes your present. This is the time that was spoken of. The time that you couldn't predict, but were always walking toward. And now that it has arrived, receive it not with hesitation, but with gratitude. For you have not missed your moment. Your moment has arrived right on time. There are seasons in your life when everything feels like resistance. When your progress seems delayed, your voice unheard, your strength tested beyond measure. Yet somehow you keep standing. Not because circumstances encourage you to, but because your spirit knows there's something ahead that your eyes haven't yet seen. These are the times when the fire burns the hottest, when the pressure feels relentless, when it seems like every effort produces little visible result. But these are also the moments that refine you. They do not come to destroy you, they come to prepare you. You are not just enduring trials, you are being shaped by them. Something is happening within you that far outweighs the outward struggle. There is a character being formed, a resilience being birthed, and a depth of faith being cultivated. You are never walking through these trials in vain. The heavens recorded each one. And now, at the appointed moment, that internal preparation meets external manifestation. The reward comes not because the path was easy, but because you chose to stay the course. What you are about to receive is not random. It is perfectly tailored for you. This is the season where the invisible becomes visible, where what was hidden is now revealed. The silence you once endured was not neglect, it was sacred. In that silence, you were being drawn closer, taught to listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. The delay was never a denial. It was a sign that what you were waiting for had a specific time, and until everything aligned, it would not arrive. This is the fulfillment of what was planted long ago, perhaps even before you understood its full meaning. The reward that has come carries weight, not just in its presence, but in its purpose. It confirms that the sacrifice, the endurance, and the countless times you chose to believe when you could have turned away have now come full circle. This is not just a good thing happening. This is a divine appointment manifesting on earth. And now, as this moment unfolds, you may find yourself surprised by how naturally it begins to settle in. Not because it is small, but because it was made for you. There is a peace that comes with things that are rightly timed. There is no striving, no forcing, only flowing. You will find that what you once struggled to reach now comes to you with grace. Conversations, opportunities, alignments, each one feels like it fits, like it belongs. That's how you know it is divine. It doesn't bring confusion. It brings clarity. It doesn't exhaust you. It energizes you. It energizes you. The spaces that once felt tight are now expanding. The dreams that once seemed distant now begin to feel tangible. And with that expansion comes greater vision. You're no longer just surviving. You're stepping into a higher realm of living. Not one of ease without effort, but one of purpose with power. What is coming into your life now is not just a blessing. It is a commissioning into your next assignment. This reward comes not only to bless you, but to remind you who you are. Through the struggle, your identity may have felt blurred. Circumstances may have tried to define you. Voices may have tried to label you, and fears may have tried to limit you. But this moment restores clarity. You are not what the struggle said you were. You are what the fire revealed. Stronger, wiser, ready. This is why it couldn't happen earlier. You had to be ready not just to receive it, but to carry it, multiply it, and protect it. This reward carries legacy. It is not fleeting. It is foundational. It will affect not only your present, but the generations after you. The faith you held onto in the dark is now lighting a path for others. Your endurance has become a testimony. Your obedience has become a key that unlocks destiny, not just for you, but for others connected to your journey. You are not stepping into a moment. You are stepping into a movement. The alignment of this reward is the beginning of divine acceleration. What once took years will now happen in months. What seemed impossible will now be possible. Because you endured the process, you can now embrace the promise. And in that embrace, everything changes. The atmosphere shifts. The people around you begin to notice. Not just what you've received, but who you've become. You are walking evidence that faith, when kept alive, draws heaven into earth. That the unseen is more real than the temporary. That promises fulfilled are not fantasy. They are divine appointments waiting for readiness. And now you are ready. As this night unfolds and the weight of this reward settles on your spirit, take a moment to breathe in what it truly means. You are not just being blessed, you are being confirmed. Confirmed in your calling, affirmed in your journey, elevated in your purpose. You are stepping into a divine rhythm where every step is ordered, every encounter meaningful, and every outcome saturated with purpose. You didn't miss your moment. Your moment didn't pass you by. It was waiting for you, and now it has arrived. There are moments when what you've carried in silence begins to rise to the surface, not as pain, but as power. All those years you felt hidden, overlooked, or misunderstood were not years of delay, but of divine concealment. You were not being punished. You were being preserved. Held in the secret place while your foundation was being built deep and strong. That is the way of great things. They take time to form, and they often grow in silence. While others rushed ahead, you were being anchored. While others seemed to soar, you were being shaped. What looked like a lack of progress was the forging of character. What appeared as silence from above was the whisper of destiny being written below the surface. And now, after all the waiting, growing, and enduring, what was once invisible is being made manifest. This is not the reward of coincidence or luck. This is the evidence of a promise kept, of a process honored, and of a soul that refused to give up. What's arriving now is not simply a gift. It is the release of what was always yours, waiting for the fullness of time. When the divine releases something into your life, it doesn't just bless, it transforms. It redefines how you see yourself, how you see your journey, and how you walk forward. You are no longer defined by what didn't happen, by who left, or by what you lacked. You are now defined by the truth that stayed with you, the truth that there was something greater ahead. That truth is what brought you through the wilderness, what carried you through disappointment, and what steadied you through uncertainty. And now, with the reward in your hand and peace in your heart, you begin to see it all differently. Every delay now makes sense. Every setback now reveals its purpose. The pain was never wasted. It became the soil where your strength took root. And from that soil, something new is rising. This reward is not the end of the story, but the unveiling of a new chapter where you walk no longer questioning your worth, but fully aware of it. No longer doubting your path, but confident in every step. There's something sacred about receiving what was meant for you all along. It doesn't come with striving. It doesn't come with comparison. It comes with stillness. It comes when your heart aligns with what has already been written for you in eternity. And that is what has happened tonight. The stillness has turned into release. The waiting has turned into fulfillment. You are not standing where you used to be. The atmosphere has shifted, not just around you, But within you, what once made you feel unsure now brings you peace. What once made you anxious now strengthens you. That is the mark of a true reward. It does not just change your circumstances. It restores your confidence. It gives you back the pieces of yourself you thought you lost. And with those pieces restored, you are stepping into the fullness of your identity. No longer trying to prove yourself, but simply living from the assurance of who you were always meant to be. This reward, though personal, will echo beyond your own life. It is not just for your comfort, but for your calling. You are now positioned to impact others, not because you have all the answers, but because you have walked through the questions and held on anyway. What you've received has depth, and that depth will be felt by those around you. They will recognize it not because you boast of it, but because your peace will speak louder than your words. Your presence will carry weight. Your voice will carry wisdom. Your journey will carry hope. You were never walking only for yourself. The path you endured is now a path you can guide others through. The breakthrough you've experienced is now a door for others to follow. And the reward you've received is not just a gift. It's a torch, lit in the quiet place and now shining for others to see. As you walk into this new season, you'll begin to recognize things that were always around you, but were hidden until the right moment. Divine connections, strategic doors, purposeful timing. They all begin to come into view. It's not that they weren't there before. It's that now you are ready to receive and perceive them. Your vision is clearer. Your discernment is sharper. Your spirit is more attuned. You're no longer reacting to life. You're responding with wisdom. And in that wisdom, you will find that everything you need is already present. No striving is required. No panic necessary. Just trust. Trust in the process that brought you here. Trust in the timing that couldn't be rushed. Trust in the reward that now flows into your hands as confirmation of what was always meant to be. There's a rhythm now to your life, a divine cadence that moves not in chaos, but in clarity. You begin to feel the grace for every next step. You no longer fear missing out because you understand that what's meant for you cannot be taken from you. This is not about competing or comparing. It's about walking in your own lane with confidence and peace. And that peace becomes your compass. It leads you where stress once drove you. It anchors you where fear once swayed you. And as you continue, you'll see the fruit of this reward unfold in places you didn't even expect. Not just in one area of your life, but in many. Because when heaven opens over you, it doesn't sprinkle. It pours, and you are now under the downpour. So tonight marks more than the end of waiting. It marks the beginning of walking in a new identity, a new awareness, and a new assignment. You were not forgotten. You were not passed by. You were simply being prepared for what could not be rushed. And now that it's here, you walk not as one who hopes something might happen, but as one who knows that it already has. The reward is not coming. It has come. And it is yours to carry forward with grace.